this. Under the digital services pillar, ladies and gentlemen, and this has been espoused at the highest echelons of government, it is our intention to digitize all government records on one hand and correspondingly digitalize all government services on the other. We are leveraging ICT to deliver more efficient information and public services by onboarding on that technological platform a minimum of 5,000 government services by June this year. That is our proposition. We have gone ahead in this regard, ladies and gentlemen, to take over the e-citizen platform, which was in the hands of the private sector. It's today, as we speak, a fully owned government entity. At the point when we took over the government, the e-citizen platform, we had 350 services about that platform. 1 month down the line, as we speak today, we have managed to onboard a total of 839 services on that technological platform, ladies and gentlemen. Our proposition is that, or estimation for that matter, is that we should be able to onboard a minimum of 300 services every week, giving us a sum total of 1,200 services about that platform every month, and within the next 4 months, an additional 4,800 or just about 5,000 services will be on that virtual platform. So our proposition of 5,000 services by June 2023 is both realistic and attainable, ladies and gentlemen. We are also, in the short term, targeting integral sectors of the public space for purposes of digitalization so that we have got impact within the Kenyan economy within the shortest time possible. And key government services which are now under immediate digitalization, ladies and gentlemen, include the health information management system, the revenue collection. We envisage a situation where, as we digitalize the services, correspondingly, we are also ensuring that the Kenya Revenue Authority is plugging into that platform so that we are able to collect revenue at source for purposes of enhancing not just our revenue base, but ensuring that we have got adequate resources by way of tax revenue to finance both our recurrent and development expenditure. And this has been espoused at the highest level of government, ladies and gentlemen, that we are not going to continue with external borrowing. We believe that leveraging on technology, we should be able to enhance the revenue base, bring more people into the tax bracket, enhance the revenue base, and have adequate resources, not just to pay off the debts that we have, but also to finance our recurrent and development expenditure in the not too distant future. We are targeting the land records, specifically the land registry. That system has been clogged. We have put in place a framework to unlock the stalled processes within the lands registry, which will immediately unlock about 100 billion shillings into the Kenyan economy by way of revenue. We are also targeting the registration of births and deaths, immigration services, transport and traffic management. We don't need traffic police on the roads. We can leverage on technology to monitor across the board all that is happening within our road network all over the country, border control, and of course illiteracy in schools and institutions of higher learning. In this digital age, ladies and gentlemen, it does not make sense to confine people to the four walls of a classroom for purposes of learning. If we are still doing that, then we are indeed living on borrowed time. And this is one of the fundamental avenues that we verily believe that our institutions of higher learning can pursue as a means of not just restructuring or engineering their operations, but also ensuring that they fundamentally cut down the costs of our operations within the public universities, ladies and gentlemen. As part of our digitalization agenda, towards a paperless government, which is our envisaged end result. The Cabinet office and meetings have already been digitalized for efficiency and effectiveness. In fact, on Tuesday, the 31st day of January 2023, ladies and gentlemen, Kenya made history by holding its first ever paperless cabinet meeting. And therefore, we have aptly demonstrated that the country's progression and commitment towards an exciting digital future is in the horizon. Through this same pillar, ladies and gentlemen, we also intend to establish and operationalize the national digital identity. If we are digitalizing government services, then it does not make sense to expect Kenyans to physically visit government offices flashing an identity card to uptake government services. We should have a situation where Kenyan citizens are able to uptake government services from the comfort of wherever they are. That is why we are embarking on a program of attaining a digital identity for all Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen. Our projection is that by February 2024, we should be able to have a digital identity for all Kenyans. And whenever we say this, people go amok and start thinking that we are reintroducing the Huduma number. No, that is not what we are doing. All we are saying is that in this era of technological innovation, we don't need the physical identity card. And from a conceptual perspective, we need a digital identity that we can use as government to determine whom we are transacting business with. So we are not carrying forward the challenges and pitfalls that befell the so-called Huduma number. So I want us to look at it from a conceptual perspective that, yes, we need a digital identity. It is not the same thing as saying we are reventing the Huduma number. So the two are distinct. We are not carrying forward the baggage of the Huduma number, but we are embarking on an ambitious program of ensuring that digitally we should be able to identify Kenyans, leveraging on a single digital identity. And history is awash with examples where this has happened. Estonia has done it, Belgium has done it, Pakistan has done it, India has done it. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no reason why Kenya as a country should be an exception in this regard. So this will enable us to utilize digital technologies to identify Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, and in the same vein, establish a national integrated identity management system that will also equally facilitate a central master population database for all citizens. The database, ladies and gentlemen, will serve as a primary source of identity for citizens. It will enable them to access government services from wherever they may be. It will also be useful on other online platforms that require authentication through electronic facilities. They'll be able to plug into that infrastructure and deliver their services electronically. The digital identity will bring together all existing identification information from different sources into one unified and electronically verifiable platform, making the process of identification more streamlined and efficient. We expect, as I had stated earlier, this process to be fully functional and operational by February in the new year, 2024. Meanwhile, we are also establishing and operationalizing a citizen contact center at our Konza Technopolis, which in our view should be our own version of the Silicon Savannah. We expect to launch this. It should be ready, up and running by July 2023. That call center will be linked to ministries and MDAs, equipped with advanced features like call logging and escalation, and this will enable citizens to interact with the government and receive assistance on any issues of concern, including but not limited to filing complaints and receiving commensurate responses in that regard, ladies and gentlemen. Under the digital infrastructure pillar, we have embarked on an ambitious program, ladies and gentlemen, of making the internet available and accessible everywhere. We believe that in this journey, all Kenyans should be able to enjoy adequate, stable, and reliable internet. And for a start, in line with this, our digital superhighway thematic area in our Kenya Kwanza plan, we are rolling out a minimum of 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable over the next 5 years. We envisage that those parts of the country that hitherto had not been ICT infrastructure enabled should benefit from this proposition so that all parts of the country are enabled by way of fiber optic cable. And we are partnering with the private sector in this regard. It is our intention as government, or proposition for that matter, to roll out 52% of the fiber, or 52,000 kilometers, while 48,000 kilometers of the fiber will be rolled out by the private sector. We have already had meetings with all the relevant stakeholders in this regard, and we have agreed with each and every one of those critical stakeholder segments on what we are doing as government and what they are doing as the private sector, and assigned roles and responsibilities to each and every entity with clear expected output indicators and targets within the timeline that we envisage to roll out the cable. So that we can state without fear of contradiction that it will be done. We are also correspondingly, ladies and gentlemen, providing stable and reliable internet access to an estimated 8.5 million homes and business. In this regard, we are establishing a minimum of 1,450 digital village hubs within the wards, which is the lowest administrative unit. We envisage that within these digital hubs, our youth who have just left school should be able to acquire adequate ICT skills, and correspondingly we are reaching out to global tech companies so that we match the skills, competencies, and capabilities available within our youth with the opportunities available in the digital space for purposes of digital jobs, because that is the only way we can keep our youth employed. We no longer have white-collar jobs, and leveraging on technology, we should be able to bring as many youth as possible. In fact, it is based on estimation, our estimation, that within the next 2 years, we should be able to create about 3 million digital jobs and turn those youth from job seekers to entrepreneurs, leveraging on technology. We are also targeting connecting the internet to 400 police stations, 13,000 health facilities, 40,000 public schools, markets, and other public institutions. We are not just looking at reducing the cost of data, ladies and gentlemen. Where we can as government, we are going ahead to provide free internet services to members of the public. It is our proposition that within the next 5 years, we should be able to roll out or establish and operationalize a minimum of 25,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots spread evenly across the country depending on the demand. For a start, we are already doing this in market centers, targeting the itinerary traders. We have established one at the City Market, another one at Budhura Market. We have done one in Nyeri, another in Kapsabet, another one in Kericho. We have done the same in Bondo, Ahero. And tomorrow, we are launching another 3, one in Bungoma and 2 within Eldoret County, ladies and gentlemen. Then, with cabinet approval already in place to augment our efforts in this digital transformation agenda, We are now already set to roll out the initial 5,000 kilometers of fiber by June 2023. We have, through the National Treasury, embarked on discussions with the World Bank to get support to the tune of about $500 million US from the World Bank under the Kenya Digital Economy Acceleration Project, KDIP, which is part and parcel of the Moonshot Project, ladies and gentlemen. Additionally, we are deploying the Universal Service Fund to facilitate internet connectivity to remote and underserved parts of the country. Such places do not ordinarily attract private sector investment. That is why we are doing it as government. Yet, because they deserve that connectivity, we are coming in as government as opposed to leaving it in the hands of the private sector. Correspondingly, because of the digital infrastructure we are introducing in place, we must also ensure that we have got adequate or commensurate digital skills within members of the public and in the public sector space so that there's an optimal level of uptake of the technological infrastructure that we are introducing into the market, ladies and gentlemen. And therefore, we have embarked on a deliberate skills upgrade program, digital skills empowerment program within our skills pillar. We are making our people digitally literate, equipping them with digital skills for optimal uptake of the online opportunities. And first, with these digital skills, we expect that they will be able to adapt, use, and monetize online technical, commercial, and creative artistic opportunities. Second, we are providing training to the public workforce to spawn efficient and effective service delivery. And in this regard, we are concurrently running several digital skills capacity building programs. To begin with, we have the Jitume program. This program, ladies and gentlemen, was designed to equip technical and vocational education and training institutions countrywide with 23,000 virtual desktops. We already have them in place, and the ultimate goal is to enable 1 million learners have access to market-ready business and ICT-related courses for free. This should then have a roll-on effect to more populations. So far, 17 Jitume labs have already been set up and connected, and they are all expected to be fully operational by the end of this month. That is by next week. Trainees on this program at the Kabete National Polytechnic, which we launched about 2 months ago under the tutelage of His Excellency the President, are already beneficiaries, with some earning from digital jobs up to $2,000 per month, ladies and gentlemen. And these are boys and girls who left Form 4 or went through the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education as late as last year. We are therefore intensifying the digital talent program, whose key components are skill development, on-the-job coaching, mentoring, training, certification, and ICT innovations. This is a 12-month internship package to develop ICT high-end skills in recent graduates. The Digital Talent Program provides a platform for structured training, coaching, and mentoring, and it also aims to promote ICT innovation and solutions development among the trainees. Under this program, ladies and gentlemen, 356 students graduated in November 2022. Another 400 interns were recruited in December 2022 and are currently undergoing the training. My ministry, in collaboration with partners, has also established the Ajira program, which provides free training and placement of youth for access to online jobs, both locally and internationally. This program has already trained 73,000 youth as at December 2022 in TVETs, universities, and youth empowerment centers. And it is currently advancing skills training to an additional 120,000 youth. It is envisaged that this training will continue, especially among women and trainers, to increase income and the use of the G-Connect free Wi-Fi hotspots that we are already establishing and operationalizing all over the country. Separately, as part of the enhancement of digital skills in Kenya, we are also at an advanced stage of operationalizing the Kenya Advanced Institute of Technology, KAIST. This is a specialist smart university located at the Konza Technopolis to provide master's and doctorate level training in the disciplines of mechanical, electrical, and ICT engineering. We expect KAIST to produce graduates in science, technology, and innovation, and these disciplines, ladies and gentlemen, are a must in a knowledge-based economy. I'm therefore confident that apart from providing digital skills to facilitate optimal uptake of digital services and improve service delivery, highly skilled ICT professionals in the country will attract foreign investors to establish tech industries locally, including business process outsourcing. This will create jobs and earn the country the much needed foreign exchange. The digital skills pillar also entails establishment of the digital village smart hubs and studios in the nation's 1,450 wards. We have got the Studio Mashinani program and our Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, which we are utilizing to identify raw talent at the grassroots in the area of music, in the area of art, drama, or theater for that matter, ladies and gentlemen. And in the area of music, we are facilitating them to produce their music for free. They are not paying for the services. This week, earlier on in the week, I was at Kisumu, and I was amazed at what is going on within our Studio Mashinani concept, anchored on the infrastructure of the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. The hubs are designed to support learning, innovation, and entrepreneurship by offering free working spaces and Wi-Fi to facilitate uptake of online jobs for the youth in the country. The same would also enable citizens to access government services, engage in e-commerce, and communicate with each other. So far, we have established and operationalized 200 such village hubs in collaboration with partners, ladies and gentlemen. Under the digital services and entrepreneurship pillars, we are deploying the internet to connect citizens to government and to other critical services. So simply put, we are enabling digital communication. We have begun with the 25,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots, which we will roll out over the next 5 years, with a target of 5,000 every year, which we have dubbed the G-Connect Wi-Fi program. And so far, we have installed 61 of those free public Wi-Fis. It is our proposition that by June 2023, we shall have established a minimum of 2 such free Wi-Fi hotspots in each county all over the country. These platforms would enable the small and medium enterprise sector to find its way into the digital economy with relative ease. And the recently launched Hustler Fund, of course, fits snugly on this platform. Entrepreneurs at this level, ladies and gentlemen, are beginning to have digital showrooms and to transact business with other clients and customers online. And also enabled through this platform is the creative and the gig economies, especially among young people. That creative and digital gig economy space has got a critical mass of hustlers at the bottom of the economic pyramid. But while doing all this, ladies and gentlemen, we also recognize that as a country, we need to move a step forward in the area of digital entrepreneurship. We have already embarked on a framework through which our telecommunication companies, for a start, have come together as much as they are competitors, but they realize that they need to come together, enjoy economies of scale, and fill the void that we have in the local market by way of smartphones. So we believe that based on feasibility studies that have been undertaken, we should be able, in the not too distant future, come up with our own version as a country of cheap, smart, enabled phones. Based on feasibility studies that have been done, these funds should be rolled out to the public at a minimum or at a maximum of $40 per unit. If we are moving into digital platforms, expecting people to transact business with government on digital platforms, rolling out our Hustler Fund on digital technological platforms, then we must have a critical mass of smart-enabled phones in the hands of the Kenyan public. And that is why deliberately and consciously we are moving in that direction so that we become manufacturers of smart-enabled phones. Some efforts are also in progress in regard to software, ladies and gentlemen. While doing all this, we recognize that we are operating in a market that is dynamic. Factors in play keep on changing, and we will constantly, where deemed appropriate, review the policy, legal, and regulatory framework, not just to be in tandem with changes and emerging issues in the operational environment, but also to be aligned to global best practices in the ICT sector. And as a ministry, we are committing that, depending on unfolding events from time to time, we remain ready and available to interact or consult with all stakeholders so that their views can go into that process. Because it is basically for good intention that we need to enrich our technological space, and that has to be anchored on a sound policy, legal, and regulatory framework. So what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that we will hold regular stakeholder fora in this regard. For a beginning, we are presently looking at certain legal instruments, such as the Kenya Information and Communication Act, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation Act 1998, the Kenya Postal Corporation Act 1998 as well, the Media Kenya of Council Act 2013, the Computer Misuse and Cyber Security Act 2018, and a range of gazette notices and other legal or regulatory instruments. And in this regard, we envisaged raised proposals from all integral stakeholder segments so that we make the processes as participatory as possible for purposes of ownership of the final output to facilitate successful adoption or implementation in this regard, ladies and gentlemen. We remain a trustworthy member of global digital technological forums, and we have been faithful to our commitment to implement international ICT covenants and protocols, which we have entered into, and this I can state without fear of contradiction that we will conform to or pursue in the foreseeable future. And with all these measures and instruments, ladies and gentlemen, in place, I'm confident that Kenya is securely on board the global digital migration. That is called the fourth industrial revolution. We have securely placed our country on the global digital superhighway as the next platform for efficiency and competitiveness in the global space. We will, of course, continue to remain open to dialogue, as I have just stated a while ago, and to listen to others, including but not limited to stakeholders in the ICT sector, for purposes of enrichment of our perspectives and even better opportunities. In this regard, we are, as government, taking this summit with all the seriousness it deserves, because it will inform all that or enrich all that we intend to do moving forward. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that the outputs of this summit will be of great value proposition to what we are doing and could form a key segment of future policy, legal and regulatory interventions, and even technological possibilities. I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, that with concerted efforts, working in tandem and together with you people and other integral segments of the Kenyan society and international community, more so within the ICT sector, we should be able to position Kenya as a country effectively as the ICT hub of Africa. I verily believe that leveraging on technology, we should be able to transform Kenya and position it effectively by way of comparative advantage for purposes of sustainable economic development. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.